Thank you for listening. If you want to know more about us and our services, please visit our website at www.wsk9co.com.
As we're in the month of February and talking about matchmaking, and we have Allison here who got her first dog. And so, Allison, tell me a little bit about your experience prior to getting your first dog.
So I've never had like a real family dog.
Mm-hmm.
I've just worked at a doggy daycare and boarding facility
Okay.
for a while.
Uh-huh.
I just knew I loved dogs.
Uh-huh.
I never had like any ownership. I didn't know how to train a dog, know how to clean up their poop. That's about it.
Yep.
Know
Yep.
how to pet them and love them.
Yep.
But yeah, that's about it. I just knew I love them.
What was your driving desire to get a dog of your own?
My sisters have dogs.
Okay.
And it's just a friend that you can have to go on adventures with, a buddy that you can always take with you everywhere.
Yeah.
Always there with you,
Uh-huh.
never.
And what did you, the dog that you got is actually kind of a funny, it's not funny, it's a fascinating way this all came about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even really know how it truly all started. But there was some Idaho shag puppies, and I know the guy that had these puppies, and I just reached out. That's what kind of happens in my world is I kind of just reach out, and then stuff starts happening. So I reached out, and then it turned into, we're going to get all three, but I'm not quite sure how we're going to get all three and what that whole thing looked like. So I think I sent the pictures. Did I send it to you, Shannon?
I think you just showed it to me because I think we were like having a meeting and you're like, here, look at these dogs. What do you think about them? And I was like, oh, what's going on? Because I had known that you had kind of been wanting to get a herding dog for a while, and we're kind of looking around at different places. And so then you showed me this picture, and I'm like, oh, I think you're thinking that you might want one of these puppies because you'd been wanting a puppy for a while.
Yeah. So then I think Melissa piped in, and like everything lit up with her because she'd been talking about getting another dog. And so then she had to go home and talk to her husband. And then I think it was, Shannon, I think you said, Allison's, I think, looking for a dog or something. Do you remember?
Allison's been wanting a dog for a really long time. And when you work at an animal industry place like a daycare or stuff, dogs come up all the time that people are just like, you're like, oh, I love your dog. And they're like, really want to take him? And this happened to Allison a lot. And she'd be like, hey, look at this dog. What do you think? And I'm like, no, that's not the right dog for you. And so she'd been wanting one for a really long time. And I, of course, was thinking, if you're going to go and look at these dogs, then you will know whether they're good or not, and could say, should this be a dog that she should have or not? And then if not, we would look for a dog in a different place, because she had just been wanting one for a really long time and kind of was at a point in her life where like it could be a real thing, but just I didn't want her to take a weird dog that was like not the right one for her just because someone said, oh, you like my dog? Here, just have it. And you're like, what's wrong with it? Why do you want to get rid of it so bad?
Yeah. So you also have some other passions, and this is all coming about into picking out a dog. So you have some other dreams or other likes or other passions that are not dog related, and you are no longer in the dog industry. You're in the healthcare industry. And so what are some of those other desires or dreams or likes or?
Yeah, so I started off as a volunteer before I got my job. I just love helping people. I love being in a place with, people that don't necessarily want to be there, that doesn't necessarily have like a good atmosphere. They can just help them, make them feel better, help them have a better experience while they're there.
Yeah.
So that's really what I enjoy doing.
Yeah. So, and that's what drove you into kind of the direction that you're headed as far as your career goes. It has nothing to do with not liking dogs anymore, not wanting to be in the industry. And so, there were some other things as Shannon and I talk. We share a lot about our families and things that fascinated me about you. And this is again getting all into how I pick out a dog for people. So, Allison really likes cows.
Yes.
Right? And Allison really likes like the ranch stuff that you guys do, and is really intrigued also by Chris's photography. And so like those are the things that I like take cues on of dog selection, and it seems really super weird. But so tell me a little bit about those things in your life and how they fit in and what it all means.
I just think it's fascinating. Like, I've never lived on a ranch, never been around any kind of like horses, cattle, anything like that, but I just love it.
Yeah.
Even though I've never been around it,
Yeah.
don't really know much about any of it, I just find it fascinating.
Yeah.
I love it.
So we went up. I think we all decided that I knew that this was the right dog for me, the one in the litter that I have, and I didn't physically see these dogs in action at all. So this is all going off of a lot of 23 years of Joe's instinct of things. So I knew that the other dog would be good for Melissa. She already had a herding dog, like it's kind of the direction. And there, I'm heading down into this crazy stock dog world. And it really set a spark for me that was something that you would want to do if this was the right dog. So here we head up to southern Idaho. And on this adventure that we went on looking at these puppies, we all stood around and kind of talked and watched these little things wiggle around and do their thing. And I'm watching and really paying attention, because it's really important when you have your first dog that it's the best experience that you can have, and making sure that this was the right dog, because herding dogs can be incredibly intense and not for everybody. And so watching the litter when as I was watching Spud, I pretty much had him picked out prior to, because I think I sent you a picture and said, here's your dog, right?
Yep, you did.
And so as we were going and we were watching the puppies, there was everything about him that was just what you said about the horses and the cows and the ranch life. Like there's I don't know why I like it, but I do. And that's kind of Spud. Like, I don't really know why we're doing this, but I really like it. Or he was really willing, just watching him overall, his curiosity, his passion. He definitely had more passion than the girls did, for sure. And I always think that a first dog should be a boy anyway. It's just kind of me. But so other things that kind of fall into place for me is what else happened that day when we were up looking at puppies?
Best day of my life.
Right.
Cow riding.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That
like,
so
we're not
cool.
bull riding, like saddled up Miss Daisy and you rode, right?
I loved it.
And those adventures and being willing to go into places that you've never been before, those were the things for me that says Allison can handle a stock dog, because you're going to go in, whether you do stock dog stuff or not, he's going to take you into places that you just can't dream of. Like, it's that relationship that I had with my very first dog, and that's what I felt from him, was you're going to learn things and you're going to do things that take you into different adventures. But there's still a passion for him that he really wants to please, and he really likes people. And I think he likes people more than the girls do. Right? So there's definitely, he's a happy guy. And he's really willing to do a lot. What has been your biggest challenge just being a first-time dog owner and taking on a puppy?
Just knowing how the right way to do everything, like situations that come up, I'm like, oh, I've never seen this. I don't know what to do. How do I fix this? What do you do in this situation? I think like the first few classes that we actually had, I learned that I need to be like firmer with him. Like, so that's something I learned about myself, is that I'm kind of like, just let it happen, but really need to crack down and make him do it. So it's been fun.
What's been the piece of owning him that has that you've learned who you are? Because I think dogs do that. Have you learned something about yourself?
Yeah, what I just said about not being so firm. I think that I'm pretty persistent. So, like, he does certain things that he'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and I have to keep telling him and telling him and telling him. So I just have, like, the door situation. So he was having a hard time at the door, first going through the door, and then after that, it was
like,
hard
woo!
not having him stay at the door. So I'm just having to keep up on him, keep telling him, follow through with it. If I let him go through, then he'd just like, okay, whatever, let's start over.
What's been the biggest emotion that he's brought out in you? The most consistent emotion that he's brought out in you?
Happiness. I just think he's goofy. He's fun. He's like the sweetest dog ever. I just love him.
What was your expectations getting a dog?
I didn't really know first what to expect, because when Shannon, one day she just came up and picked me up from work and was like, I think I have a dog for you. Like, okay. She told me, no, don't be excited yet. We don't know if it's going to happen. Then I just started getting excited, thinking about this dog that I could take on my adventures, go snowshoeing with him, have a little buddy that I can do whatever with, go to the dog park if I want, go on walks. Just a forever friend. Kind of.
What has been some of the challenges that you've had living in an apartment with him?
I don't think that he really understood, like, where the outside was, like, with potty training. So I think it took a little bit longer, because he would just randomly stop and have an accident. But then, like, if I came here and stayed over at your house, he knew exactly where outside was. He'd go sit at the door. So that was really hard. And probably he likes to bark when he plays. So it's like in the middle of the night and he's playing with Red and he's barking. I'm like, okay, you need to calm down. It's kind of hard going down the stairs, coming back up every time I have to take him outside. It's just because I'm lazy.
No, that has not have anything to do with being lazy. That is like hardcore. That's hardcore. That would be like, oh my gosh, why do I have a dog? I don't want to go down the stairs. That would be me. Stop it.
Right. The bathroom again, really?
Right. Can we just get it all out now? Yeah. What's been the most surprising thing for you?
Things that, like, living in an apartment, I didn't realize, like, leash training and things, like, when I came here, and you're like, oh, she did horrible on her leash when we went to this one thing. I was like, oh, you guys don't just take your dog on a leash everywhere you go.
Right.
Figuring out, like, what he likes to eat.
Mm-hmm.
He had a problem with his eating. He's very picky.
Yeah.
But we
Yep.
finally got something that he likes.
Good.
Just learning how to take care of him
Yeah.
has been
Yeah.
fun, hard, learning a lot,
Yeah.
interesting.
What have you ever felt like you didn't want to do it?
Every once in a while, he's really mouthy.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm just relaxing, and then all of a sudden he'd come up and like bite my dog, like, really?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yep.
I'm gonna get rid of you.
Yep.
If he's not behaving, like not coming when I'm telling him to,
Mm-hmm.
and wouldn't do the sit or down. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sell you tomorrow if you don't shape up.
Right. Yep.
I offered to give him to Shannon a few times, and she said no.
Yep. Yeah. Has it ever felt like so stressful that you just couldn't do it?
No,
And why do you think that is?
because I know that I want him,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that we have a lot of things that we can do together.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's hard right now, if I stay consistent and keep training him,
Uh-huh.
I think he'll turn out to be a really good dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the one thing that we forget is when we have the right dog, like that's exactly how you should feel.
Yeah.
When you don't have the right dog, your stress level of ownership is one of, it really is so disruptive to life versus, I don't like what you're doing, this is frustrating, but it's not so disruptive to like how you feel. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't realize, that having the right dog changes the story on how you have a dog. Puppyhood is not easy. There's times that, even as a dog trainer, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this. And sometimes I don't know why I even have this dog. She's really challenging to me, which is good, and I know why I have her. But it's when you have the right dog, you go through all these emotions, but it's never one of just sheer shutdown of like, it shouldn't be like that. Having a child is like that. Like that was the worst experience in my life. And everybody's like, oh, it's so great. I want to. No, this is like the worst experience of my life and the most stressful. And so when people say, I can't do this with my dog, like I get it because I did that. That's how having a child was for me. And so, but obviously you can't like drop your child off at the shelter because it might have happened for me. And I was very thankful for my sister to call her, like, is this normal? Should this be happening? Should I be feeling like this? Yeah, it's all normal. Okay. Well, it's not a good normal. Like, so, you have a support group around you. And when you have the right dog, then your support group, actually want to help you, right? When you have a halfway decent dog, they want to help you versus, oh, we got to go deal with Allison's dog. It's, it's just my turn to go over and get him out and, do his thing. So, Shannon, do you have some questions?
Well, being Allison's sister, I know that we have a lot of sisters, and they have a lot of opinions about what we do with our lives. So I'm wondering if when people were giving you opinions about whether or not that you should get a dog, even though you already decided to get one, if there was anything that you became afraid about, like you were scared about having a dog. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. I think that if you and Joe think that I can do it, then I think I can do it. You guys are the experts and so just didn't listen to anything they said.
So what's been something that like you enjoyed that you maybe didn't expect, or something that you experienced with having Spud that you like didn't expect when you thought, I have this idea, I'm going to get a dog?
I didn't expect that I'd get like the cutest, goofiest, craziest dog ever. He just has the best personality. He's kind of unique in his own way. Bouncy, runs into things, falls down the stairs sometimes. But I think we just fit well together.
I think you do too. As an outsider looking in, and especially like we work with people that have dogs that are really challenging, and sometimes they don't fit in the home, and we still try to help them fit because the people really, really are committed to it and want the dog to be there. And it's really, really challenging, and it's really a struggle, and they really have to work hard at it. And like me being an outside perspective and looking in with that experience, to me, Allison has a very easy relationship with her dog because they fit together so well. Like they really are a perfect match for each other. And he's easy for me to go take out too because she works with him. I go let him out in the day to go to the bathroom because Allison's working super long hours at the hospital. And she works with him so much that when I go take him out, it's easy for me to go take him.
And it truly, you know, it makes a difference when it's the right dog. Mm-hmm. You're going through puppyhood. You're not going through hell. Mm-hmm. And there's a big difference because some people go through hell with their puppies, and it's hard. It's you know, when you go into homes and, you know, everybody's in tears, and it's not tears because they're going to get rid of the dog. It's tears because they can't handle what they have, but they're not going to give up, and it's a really big struggle that happens, and it's fun to see. You guys are always on my mind, because it's so right, and I can't tell you why it's so right, Allison, because I didn't really know you. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really sit down and say, okay, so tell me about what kind of dog you'd like to have. Like, we didn't go through that, right? And so on all of our other podcasts, there tends to be a common theme that happens, and it's this dog soul that I have, and I don't quite know what it is, other than it's something that's there, and I'm probably I was a dog in a previous life, I guess, and so that's where that's coming from. So as a dog, I knew that I was going to be a human being that helped dogs. I that's just kind of like where I'm at, right? So so knowing what Shannon told me about you, and the little snippets that I catch of, okay, is this Allison that Shannon's talking about, or is this Carly, and which one's and who, and it takes me a long time to like put everybody together, and I don't even know that I know who like everybody is who.
Which is just because I say my sister. I don't say my sister Allison because like most of the time in the real world, like we're really good friends, so I should do that. But most of the time when you're out talking to people, like they don't care and they don't even know how many sisters you have. And so I just say my sister, and so that's why. It's my fault. Yeah. So I'll try to be better at that in the future.
But I think I've got everybody figured out as far as personalities go. I don't know necessarily what all of you guys look like. I mean, I've met all of you, but I don't think I could sit in your household and go, okay, that. Yeah, but if everybody started talking, I could figure out who's who, and just because of that. So I felt like I knew you without knowing you, and us not even talking. Like, I really usually sit down and go through this whole thing. So his matchmaking was really like a deep soul thing, and I want to acknowledge you for trusting that process, because it's really weird to say, Joe picked out a dog for me. She doesn't even really know me, right? I knew what you liked, and I knew that you'd never been in that world of what you like, which I think it's really cool. I think is really cool. And so thank you for trusting me through this journey that you're on. And thanks for going through the journey, and to be able to take him into this crazy stock dog world that's going to happen in like 6 or 7 months. It's going to be a whole different thing, and and you almost get to like collide your worlds through him, because we're not going to go. I mean, we don't live on a farm, so somewhere we get to have that joy of competing with the cattle, and I get to ride my horse, and I get to go move cows with the ranchers and stuff like that, but it's not my world, right? And so being able to take our stock dogs into this world that will collide into the things that we like, I think it's going to be a pretty amazing experience to go through, and that you get to have that world in an indirect way through your dog. Yeah. And that's pretty fabulous to be able to watch you and to be able to go through that with you. So it's pretty cool.
Excited.
Good.
Having fun so far.
Good. What questions do you have for me?
I don't know.
Anything. You can ask anything if you don't have anything.
When are you taking me horse riding?
Soon. I actually have somebody that has some trail horses that we can go out on a trail on. So it's better to be on a trail horse that is just a trail horse than have to manage something that hasn't been out on a trail. So, yeah, we've been invited up.
That was better than I expected.
We need to go to Wyoming soon. So I'm trying to figure out just the dynamics of that to put him on some goats. And I probably should schedule a time with Shannon, at least on a Tuesday when I go out to Tooele, and to put him on goats just to get him going to see what he does. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, all that needs to kind of start happening. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and we'll figure out weekend stuff. Everybody's kind of heading into trials as the big trial stuff starts too. So, there's some fairly close that we'll go watch and stuff. So, so that'll be fun too. So, anything else?
Not that I can think of. When are you buying a ranch?
We're all kind of working on that.
Okay.
I think it's going to be more like, I had I had this thought process, and I'm sure Shannon's talked about it, but about doing a dude ranch. And so, and Shannon hasn't heard this story yet, but this is my new vision, because that's how I roll. If we do a dude ranch, then we have to do all the work of saddling up the horses, and I mean, you kind of have to do a lot more than what I really want to do. And so what I decided is that we are going to have, it's going to be more of a prairie experience. Did we? Yeah. So it's not ranchy. It's more being an independent woman, canning and owning it, not like you're the wife and the mother of the house, but I can and herb stuff, and you can go out in the herb garden and kind of create your own tea stuff. And then we might have to go on a horseback trip to bring in the milk cow. I don't know. And we'll milk a cow, and we'll bring, I think we'll have some stock dog stuff going on too. So people get to experience like working, dogs with the cows or the goats even, we might not even have the cows, because I don't know if I want to step into that world.
We do.
But okay, that will be your department. They're kind of been very intense things, actually. But so more of that kind. If you're going to go for the ride, you have to know how to saddle up your horse, and or you have to be able to own it. That it's not just going to be hook the horses up and we all go on a trail ride kind of thing. So, so we kind of have to create that. And Shannon told me it can't be in Wyoming, and so that just totally cuts out a lot of land that we could just own. So yeah, blame that one on Shannon. She stopped it there, so that's now it's going to take us longer to get what we want.
Start over.
So you blame that one on Shannon. So I don't know.
Yeah, because I said prairie things are within my skill set. Remember, yeah, cows aren't my skill set, but prairie things are. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're gonna have, and it's not really a hobby farm. It's really just about like being on the prairie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and surviving.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay. Sounds great.
Whether you like it or not, I'll be there.
Yay. So as we go through, what I would like to challenge you is to try and shoot a video a month that we can put up on our YouTube channel, so that all of our listeners can get on and just see your journey and your stuff, even if it's the Spud going down the flights of stairs to go to the bathroom. I mean, those are things that will let people see that journey that you're going on, and the joy that he brings into your life. So it doesn't have to be a training thing. It just has to be Spud's story. That would be fabulous. Okay. Once a week, just shoot Spud's story somewhere. Okay.
Thank you for listening. If you want to know more about us and our services, please visit our website at www.wsk9co.com. And as always, we urge you to get out and train.